I'm just going to make sure that we stay on gallery. Yeah, because I like the gallery because people can see us together, right? Okay, good. Now I just put us next to each other. So that's even better. All righty. So are you ready, my friend?
Fully.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I am here with my special guest, Ann Bennett, who is the founder of Renegade Branding and has spoken across the country and around the world. She's a best-selling author, coach, and brand profit builder. Ann has shared the stage with thought leaders like Les Brown, Jack Canfield, Sandra Yancey, the CEO of eWomen, Craig Duswalt of Rock Your Life, and badass author Jen Sincero. Ann uses her marketing and branding genius to help women entrepreneurs and a few good men build their standout personal brands and boost their profits. Ann works with purpose-driven entrepreneurs who do transformational work so that they can liberate and ignite their unique geniuses, authentic voice, and build a profitable brand platform. Ann has 25 years, or is it more now? I don't know, in visual and graphic design, and has brought her talents to many major magazines, including Popular Mechanics to Vogue magazine, where the devil really does wear Prada, right, Ann? And Ann's personal slogan and the cornerstone of all of her programs, it's smart to fit in, but it's brilliant to stand out. So welcome, Ann. So happy to have you here. We are talking about Ann's recent transformation of her business from kind of just being one-on-one coaching to group coaching, and how building an online course has really helped you move from one type of work into being able to impact and help more people. So, Ann, why don't you just, now they've done this introduction, let's tell people more about what you do and about yourself, okay?
Well, I spent 25 years in New York City as a magazine art director. And for you that aren't sure what that is the person who controls the writing, the image, the wording, all that stuff is what I help people with. So it helps me with my business now that I've been doing, I don't know, 10 plus years, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, I think longer than that, because I think we met way back in 2011 with it was way back when. So I think you've been at this for quite a while, right? Like 10 plus years.
Yeah, building coaching where I help my clients really understand what makes them unique. How do they word that in the marketplace to get attention? And then build out signature talks and programs that actually create the whole package for 6 figures and beyond. Kristen and I have done a lot of work together over the years. And so
most notably, our client together, Todd Krieger, whose business, because of Ann's helping him rebrand himself, has exploded from, not even barely reaching 6 figures to multiple 6 figures. And the guy has a waiting list of people to work with him.
Yeah, it's really our combined genius. It's created, there's so many aspects to creating a successful business. And my point of view is be who you are and do the things you love to do. Choose the marketing venue or whatever that works for you and go from there, because there's so many ways to do it. But, we recently took a lot of my trainings and things I've been doing for the last decade and put them into a format online. And that's been miraculous and fabulous in terms of allowing me to have more time, to be more creative, to go spend time with my significant other and do whatever it is I would like to do. So, when I started my business, it was like, I want to do what I want, when I want, where I want. And then, it doesn't happen.
Yeah. So that was like the challenge, right? You didn't have freedom. You couldn't scale. You want to kind of like dive into like letting people know like how you were, how that was affecting you personally and both
Yeah.
business
I
wise.
mean, personally, and I didn't have a relationship. First of all, I didn't have time. Dating seemed like marketing. I was like, I do this all day long. I don't want to do it at my time, to my personal type. And also, I wasn't able to leverage my expertise to make the money and continue to expand and get momentum on the programs that I've built and the work that I do. So it's like there is a strategy, and not when you start, you just want to do the one-on-one and get yourself lined up with what you're doing. But after that, it's like, well, I don't have any time to myself. I don't have any time to even be creative, or I don't have any time to take a vacation, or I don't have, and pretty soon it's burnout. And for me, it turned into a health crisis. I was grinding away, working till 2:00 in the evening to get all these things together and make them work. I really didn't understand, truthfully, until now. So we did the work of like, oh, this goes here, and this leads to here, and this leads to that. And it's like, oh my God. It's like all of a sudden it's almost like you wake up. It's like a light bulb moment to understand that systematizing your business is the way to momentum and freedom.
Yeah. I think one of the things I remember when we were having a discussion is that you had all these clients, you were getting them all these results, but you were like also repeating yourself over and over and over. And you didn't need to be. We really kind of looked at packaging what you were teaching your clients so that you could use it in a group program, or if you wanted to give it to your clients, your one-on-one clients, they could listen to you and then come and coach with you and actually get more out of a coaching session, right? Than if you were teaching the whole time.
Yeah. So instead of, particularly with my higher level clients, they don't need as much teaching. My group people, they need the teaching, right? And so it works on both sides. My other people are more advanced, and they know what they're working on and where they want to go. So they're going into the online portal, if you will, or teaching platform, and going into the pieces that they need to learn right now. So it's not like I have to learn everything. It's like, what's important to me right now is a signature talk. Or what's important to me right now is how do I introduce myself and get attention immediately and set up contacts and interviews and things like that. Awesome. Where as a group, everyone's more like, here's the first step, here's the second step, because they're just learning. They don't understand, they don't see the whole picture yet. They're just like, how do I get out there and do something? How do I speak about what I do in such a way that people are like, oh, yeah, I want that, or they want to have further conversations. So it works both in both aspects, which is great, but definitely has freed me up in terms of having me or my assistant send emails and send assignments and send all this stuff all the time. There's an automation to it that allows for that time to be freed up, and which is great because I can go do what I do best, which is basically speaking and teaching. So I'm not in the granular nitty gritty, if you will.
Yes. So I hear you also saying, Ann, that, by not having to, of course, less labor, less hands-on, because you have everything right there for them. You're not repeating the same tasks over and over again, and you're not having to pay someone all that money anymore because it's all sitting right there for the clients and they can just access it at any time. Right? Okay. So could we just take people who are watching this, because they're probably really curious to take a look at one of your programs, and I want to share it with them. And then why don't you just kind of give people an overview, because you've been like referencing your Renegade Branding program, right? Is that the one we're going to show them? Why don't we show them, give them a peek so they can kind of get an idea of what your program looks like, and I'll allow, you can just, do the narration and tell them, what everything is in there, and give them a little tour. I think that would be extremely beneficial for anybody watching this. So why don't I just hop in here, and I've got it open, and you'll see we have Ann's, it's the Renegade. Which one do you want me to show them, Ann?
I think the brand experience.
Okay, cool. We're in the back end, and I will shut up here in a minute and let you take over. But I'm just explaining people where we are. We're in the back end of a Kartra program. A lot of people use Kartra it's like a lot like Kajabi, Active Campaign, a lot of things, but this is the back end of it. So I'm going to just go into the builder, and then I'll just pop you over into a preview, but you can really kind of get to see how easy this is, because it's just a drag and drop builder. It's a great, for any of you considering that you might want an online place to host your program, it is a great way to deliver programs. But let's just take you in here, like all the viewers in here, like they are actually inside your program. And I'm going to just leave this up to you, Ann, and I'll just try and follow around as you kind of talk about your program.
You can act as the
I'll try to do my best.
Well, I think you want to, for me, I wanted to create something exciting when people got there.
Yeah,
that wasn't just kind of a bland thing. So we created some graphics for the Renegade brand experience, and they click in and they start to watch the welcome video. So that's the first thing.
Right.
And then in the welcome video, they go into, so there's videos, which is really great. And then, here's the important things for you to do, sign up for, the Facebook page or whatever I'm asking them to do things. So they know to do that. And then start to go through and look at what they're actually, it's an overview of what they're actually going to accomplish during the program.
Right.
And then, then they go into whatever they want to start with. I mean, we could just go to the whatever, there's pre-work. So sometimes people do that or they don't do it depending on where they've signed up for the program.
Right. Right.
So it gives them something to start with before we actually start meeting.
Yep.
With a lot of times there's a lag of a couple of weeks, even a month before we start working. So this gives them a place to actually start working ahead of time, which is great.
Yeah.
And, it just continues from there. I have everybody start with basically, if they haven't planned out how much money they want to make, we want to go there first and then go to messaging. How do we talk about what it is we do? So they have a step-by-step if they want to do that. And we built a calendar for them so they know, well, this week I should be here.
Yeah.
Next week I should be there. And they can either be there or not, but at least they have a roadmap to where they should be if they're working through the program. I like, my people are, rebels, renegades, and revolutionaries. It's sometimes hard to get them to follow the rules. And I truly understand. So, you can either follow the rules the way I've set it up, or you can go in and move into the modules that you want to work on. And I think that's the power of the program, is it's customized. It's not cookie cutter, one size fits all. You have to mark it this way. You have to say it this way. I give people wireframes to work in. They have the flexibility, the creativity to add their own personality style to what it is we're doing. So it's truly their business. It's not telling them you have to do it this way.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this, I mean, that's the thing I think people need to remember, even though you've got a program and you got it set up, you're really just laying the foundation. It doesn't matter what kind of a coaching program you have. You're laying a foundation, then people put their own personality, their own stuff, whether any kind of course, if it's a coaching type of a course, other people, it just depends on what kind of a coach you are, right? You can really customize a course to any way that's going to serve your clients. But I love this because I know you're such a creative person. And that was one of the things I think at first was like, oh, how do I, go from one-on-one coaching? And I'm going to just switch back to us talking. To going into a coaching program where you got everything laid out. Do I lose my creativity? Do I lose all of that? And I don't hear you saying that. I think it's actually helped your creativity, and it still allows for them to customize and do whatever they need to do. But the basic training that you give to your clients is there.
It's definitely, when you want to think about it, you want to think about, this is the foundational work.
Yeah.
This is what my client needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like them to know so we can actually coach at a higher level.
Oh, can you dive into that a little bit? Could you give everybody kind of a story or tell experience with that? Because I think that would be really beneficial for anybody who's listening in on this.
Yeah, so basically in my higher program, the Renegade Brand Experience, they've done a lot of programs. Okay, they've done a lot of training, like so many, and not happy with the result, right? It's always about the result. And what happens in how we have it set up is they go in and educate themselves. I'm not educating as much. So it allows me to coach at a higher level than just, let me teach you, the importance of this thing. They're already getting that online. They're getting a video. Here's the importance of this thing. Here's the exercise. Come to class with questions, with higher end questions that really relate directly to each and every one of them. They don't always have the same questions, but because they're building together, it all overlaps. So the coaching for one is the coaching for many.
Right.
It's really beautiful. And it allows me to coach at a much higher level than when I'm in my group training, where we have to stay pretty tight because you give them too much room and they go nuts,
Oh yeah.
You give them
always better.
Too many options. Where when you get a little more grounded in the foundational work, then you're like, well, I don't want to do it that way. My clients actually say to me, I'll give them a wireframe or a formula for something. And they're like, I'm not going to say that. And I'm like, great. Why don't you say it in your own words? Let's dial in your words that really align with who you are. Because I'm going to say it a certain way, and they're not going to say it that way.
Of course, nobody is, and they shouldn't, because that's the beauty of you get a wireframe, but it's why you want anybody who's taking a course to do their own work, because otherwise it's never going to work, right? So yeah, exactly. So can you shed some insight into maybe a recent coaching session you did with someone? You don't have to say their names, but just so people can get an idea of what that higher coaching is and what has it done, because I know you have tons of client stories about things you've done for people.
Somebody recently, she's building out actually podcast. So she came into the higher mastermind program already focused on a subject, right? If she had started at the beginning of everything, it would be a little bit different, but she comes in and she's like, I need a title for my podcast. I need some writing that makes sense. Who's my target audience, those kinds of things. And so we started her directly in message and how to name something. So people want listen to it. So she ended up with like, oh, if I can remember, it's so funny. She's like an EQ coach for executives and stuff. So it was like intelligent intoxication is the title that we came up with. So it was like how to get smashed on success without the buzzkill of whatever it was, burnout. Burnout. So, we write a lot of these things, but I mean, sure, it's kind of like, Kristen, how we did at one point. I got branded for Instagram and then lost all my Instagram account at the beginning of COVID. I mean, of course, if it can go wrong, it's Murphy's Law. So for her, we've created a whole messaging and branding around her podcast, which we're now going to back into website, videos. Now I'm very creative, so you can go backwards or you can go forwards along this timeline of growth. So it allows me to really, in a way, use my entire expertise.
Right. Because because I remember like you'd be like laying awake trying to have to do all the work yourself for the client. And here I hear you saying the client, you're co-working, the client is actually doing the work, and then that's much better because it's really their own, and you're coaching them to where or getting them into the direction of where they need to be to get the result that you just said for that podcast with the
Right. You're getting a higher level of guidance than when I originally started. It was like, here's the format, fill this out, do the next thing, which works fine in a foundational program. That's great for group. But when you want to, and I also put them all together because the one-on-one, I was losing my mind. Losing my mind. And all my time was sucked up with coaching each one of them individually. In order to really leverage what I was doing, we really had to. We didn't have to. I could have stayed there and suffered along.
Exactly.
I was doing okay, right? I was doing okay business-wise. But in order to grow, in order to have that freedom that I actually want to go anywhere with whomever I want, whenever I want, however I want, it had to be put online like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think you said that you just spoke at an event or somewhere and you were able to easily sell like was it $25,000 in making sales at that one event? And then you brought in all these new clients and you could easily serve them all without tearing your hair out and staying up. I mean, you told me that story. So why don't I let you tell that story instead of me telling it? Because I'll never say it as well as you can.
Well, I think it was, I'm a speaker, so I'm always speaking, but I think that was probably when I was doing a conference. And so we had a real influx of people interested in the renegade archetypes and how do they work in their business and what does that do? So many of them from there decided to come into these small mastermind groups. And that pretty much filled all of those courses. And it was $20,000 or $25,000.
And from one engagement, and you could take them all in comfortably because you had everything systematized into a course or a program, whatever, so that you could, because before you'd be like,
I would be
deer in the headlights, right?
I'd be going, how can I comfortably, comfortably is kind of a weird word for an entrepreneur, but how can I actually serve my people and give them value without crashing and burning? Easy to grind it out in a short amount of time, which I'm also very good at, but it's not good for longevity, and it's not good for over time keeping a steady flow of your clients.
Yes, you're just so right. I mean, you're much more, from the early days to the end of now. I can tell you, I've watched Ann because I've known you for so long, and I think this is like the happiest I've seen you the more most comfortable you feel like you can really scale confidence, because it does take some time to get, confident from going from the one-on-one to the one to many, just to change that whole thing and confident that it's all going to work in that.
When I first started, I was like,
yeah.
Seriously, you don't know if it's going to work. So I'm waiting to hear from my clients. How's this going for you? Is this working? What do you want? You always want to be iterating. You always want to be improving. So I'm always asking them, how's it going for you? What do you need? What do you see that maybe I haven't provided that you need? That kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. First I was like the nervous chihuahua.
So do you think,
I feel very relaxed.
Yeah. So do you think going to this kind of a format, has it given them better results because you can coach them at a higher level? And are they, because I know before you wanted them to finish everything, and maybe getting over that, wanting them to do everything and maybe pick out pieces and work on those things. Has that really been more beneficial for everybody involved?
Well, in this particular structure, I mean, I think it's different when we're talking about a group, like a foundational group.
Right.
Nobody knows how to build a business.
Right.
Well, we're now speaking about people that have some experience, 2, 3 years, 4 years under their belt as to like what's not working and what's working. But I think it's really allowed them to move quicker.
Yeah.
On my whole goal is for my clients to make money.
Of course.
I don't really care like how they do it exactly. I want to direct them to give them an idea of like, go around, don't go to TikTok right now, or whatever it is, whatever the latest thing that everyone's rating.
Yeah, I agree with you on that 100%. Yeah.
I get them into like, let's do one thing and one marketing venue, and let's just make some money, some good money, which I consider, adding $50,000 to your bottom line.
Yes.
And then we'll pick another venue. But I think for these guys, most of everyone, when I crossed over, I mean, one of my clients quadrupled her income last quarter last year.
Wow.
I'm actually not talking to her that much. I mean, I
got her there. You gave her the right, that's the good thing though, because I think sometimes we overwhelm our clients when we talk too much and we try to give them too much information. So
I think it's not talking so much, giving the client more power.
Yeah.
I know when I started, it was like, I wanted to show everybody how smart I am and all the stuff that I know. Now it's like, they don't care how much you know.
No, it's like people really like this stuff, everything, including the kitchen sink, into their programs. And honestly, I can say from watching people, and I've beta tested a program multiple times. And when I had less in there, more people got it done.
Yeah.
Cut out the fat.
People want to take action or feel like they can take action and get a result.
Yeah.
Can take action, get a result. And the way that we've set up these programs inside of, we're using Kartra, but there's lots of other platforms for that, is they finish a module, they finish the stage, and they get a result.
Yeah.
Another thing, they get a result. So it's not like this nebulous, I don't know where I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that. If I was going to design, and I was going to tell anybody that was designing a course, you need to do it in bite-sized chunks where each milestone or whatever, module like you have set up, you get a result from doing it. You don't have to go through the whole entire program to get results.
Right.
So,
super important.
Awesome. Yeah. So, is there anything else you want people to know about building an online course? Or
I think, be prepared to be scared. Let go and let somebody who knows what they're doing actually help you.
Yes. Yes.
and let go of, oh, I know how to do this, or I've done it before and it didn't work, all that kind of stuff, and allow yourself to be a student. A lot of us have been out there in the industry a long time, and we're like, oh, I know that. Oh, I've done that. Oh, that didn't work for me. And it's like, when they're working with somebody like you, you've got, the formats and the strategy and the system to make it happen. It's like, guys, water is hard, wet. You're going to get wet. Rocks are hard.
Yeah.
That's just reality. So if you can allow yourself to be taught that way, and then add in your creativity, to me, for my people, then you add in your creativity, but do the structure that is creating the momentum and the success for people.
Exactly.
And that's probably my biggest learning over the last 10 plus years. Being so creative, I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna do it my way. Oh, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna cobble together all these people I've heard talk about it. Wow. And then you end up with, what we call the Frankenstein model. Put together all these pieces from all these different experts, but really to follow something all the way through and end up with a program is super powerful.
Yeah. And I think the other thing is, if I can interject something, is that, and we've talked about this, just because you get it up there, and you get it on there, that doesn't mean you're done with it,
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm not like saying it's an ongoing thing that you got to change it all the time, but I want people to not like think that you have to have it perfect the first time. So it takes you 6 months to get the program out there. Really.
You're wrestling it away from me.
Yeah.
Let's put it up. No, I'm not ready.
Yeah, I know, but people tend to overthink things. And just because you get the program up there and it's in its infancy, right? And I feel like, and even in my own programs, as I work with my clients, I learn, or coaching students, and I've heard you say this too, is that you learn from them and then you go, oh, I need to tweak it, this thing here, that way, right? A little bit, so that they can get better results. And I'm not saying you go back and throw everything out and redo it, but once you get the basics, then you can build on it to it, with more, whatever you want to have with it, or tweak things, right?
I think as creators and entrepreneurs, we think it's like a one and done. It's not. Believe me, Elon Musk is still tweaking Tesla, still tweaking the car to do something else. Or
right.
It's just, you get the basic thing in, and then you can test it on your clients and see how they're doing, and stay, oh, let me change this, or let me tweak this, or let me do that. I think the problem with most of us is we're like, oh, I did that once and it didn't work. When it's really, it's fine. The feedback is you need to change something. You need to improve something. You need to, and it can be the smallest thing. It's not throwing everything out and trying a different direction or a different course necessarily.
Right.
So there's a lot of growth in there for people.
Yeah. So I think I remember when we were working on your program together, we got the basics up there, and then we built a real powerful, onboarding where we had the roadmap. Then we built the follow-up sequence so that they got an email every single week. This is where you should be in the program. And that's really for your group coaching people, that you want them to go through it in a certain way. And I do the same thing inside of my program as well. And those are like really important components of building a course that's going to get an ROI for your students, right? They're going to get value out of it. So we have to guide them and coach them through it and help them. And those are two ways that you can really take it from the basics to the next step. Yeah.
You want the ROI for your students. They get the result, then you get the ROI.
Well, hello, of course.
It's all about that.
It's all about that, right? So, and is there anything else that we need to cover? Do we cover it all? Like, as far as, the value that you've gotten from, and obviously you've made some money and it's been a lot easier. You've got more freedom. You're happier. Is there anything else you want to say about having a course before I tell people how they can find you?
Oh,
Because I'm sure they want to know that.
well, I just think, if you're ready to take your expertise and what you know and put it online, there's no better time to do that than right now. Everyone is learning online. It's just like the QR codes. When we did the QR codes that one time, and I was like, no one's going to use it. But then after COVID, everyone wanted to eat out. So now they're all using the QR code. It's just like everyone is learning online and they're very used to it. So before, I had a little intrepidation, like, oh, they need to be with me more. They need to be with me more. So I had to let go of that and know, this is a great hybrid, what I call a hybrid model.
Yep. I agree. I believe if anybody's going to do a coaching or a online program, it needs to be a hybrid model for a couple of reasons. It gives them time with you because they want to learn from you, but you're able to serve them at a higher level, give them custom solutions to their questions, problems, that sort of thing, rather than teaching. Right. And if you don't do that, I feel like you distance yourself from your audience or your students. And I feel like, and I'm sure you probably do too, you learn from them. You learn from the questions, you learn from what they're doing, and it gives you good intelligence. So like if you're putting your marketing pieces together, you know what to say and what to do to help them get results, right? How to serve them better.
Yeah, and I think the thing is you build a deeper relationship.
Of course. And don't we want that? I mean, that's like, we want to serve all these people, but we also want to know them. Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, Ann, I'm sure everybody wants to know how to find you. And I'm actually going to put a link down below so that people can go take is it your Renegade Archetype?
Yeah, the Renegade Archetype.
That's going to be down below. So why don't you tell people how to find you, and I'll include all the links so that they can come over and visit you.
Yeah, come over to my website, which is annbennettmarketing.com. Take the Renegade assessment to understand your personality brand. Are you a disruptor, innovator, nurturer, or a geek? Which gives you at least a foundation of where to start on building out a brand. And I have my Facebook group, Ann Bennett Marketing, that people could come and join. And I do some teaching and videos over there.
Okay, great.
I love to teach, so they can DM me. I love to meet people. And
you're on Instagram, Facebook.
Mostly Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah.
A little bit on LinkedIn.
There it is. That's where the action is, right? Yep. So I'll make sure for all of you that all those links are down below, that you can join her Facebook group, go visit her website, take that archetype quiz, and you're going to get you have that great handout at the end that they can use right away to help them with building a brand and some marketing. So I definitely recommend you go check Ann out. And I really appreciate your time today.
My pleasure.
As always, it's a pleasure to be able to chat with you and talk to you about business.